Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 1. The Gita requires a little preliminary introduction. The scene is laid on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There were two branches of the same race fighting for the empire of India about 5,000 years ago. The Pandavas had the right, but the Kauravas had the might. The Pandavas were five brothers and they were living in a forest. Krishna was the friend of the Pandavas. The Kauravas would not grant them as much land as would cover the point of a needle. The opening scene is the battlefield, and both sides see their relatives and friends. One brother on one side, a grandfather on one side, grandson on the other side. When Arjun sees his own friends and relatives on the other side and knows that they may have to kill them, his heart gives way and he says that he will not fight. Thus begins the Gita. The first discourse of the Gita can be taken allegorically. Chapter 2. Sanjay said, Tang tatha kripaya vivishtham shrukurnakuleshanam vishitantumidam vakyamuvach madhusudanam. To him who was thus overwhelmed with pity and sorrowing, and whose eyes were dimmed with tears, Madhusudan spoke these words. Shri Bhagavanuvach, the blessed Lord said, Kut Satvam Kuttasvatva Kashmalamidam Vishme Samupasthitam Anarya Jusham Swargasyam Kirti Karmarjunam. In such a strait, whence comes upon thee, O Arjun, this dejection, unaryan like, disgraceful and contrary to the attainment of heaven? Kalayam ma smagamaha parth netat tvai upabdhyate shrudram hridaya daurvalyam taikaltvot vitmasht parantap. Yield not to unmanliness, O son of Pritha. I will doth it become thee, cast off this mean faint heartedness, and arise, O scorcher of thine enemies. In the shlokas beginning with Tang Tatha Kripaya Vishtham, how poetically, how beautifully has Arjuna's real position been painted. Then Sri Krishna advises Arjun, and in the words Kalayvyam Kalayabhyam Masma Gamaha Parth, etc. Why is he goading Arjun to fight? Because it was not the disinclination of Arjun to fight arose out of the overwhelming predominance of pure Sattvagun. It was all tamas that brought on this unwillingness. The nature of the man of Sattvagun is that he is equally calm in all situations in life, whether it be the prosperity or adversity. But Arjun was afraid. He was overwhelmed with pity. That he had the instinct and the inclination to fight is proved by the simple fact that he came to the battlefield with no other purpose than that. Frequently in our lives, also such things are seen to happen. Many people think they are sattvika by nature, but they are really nothing but tamasic. Many living in an unclean way regard themselves as paramahamsas. Why? Because the Shastras say that Paramahams live like one inert or mad or like an unclean spirit. Paramahams are compared to children But here it should be understood that the comparison is one sided. The Paramahams and the children are not one and non different. The only appear similar being the two extreme poles, as it were. One has reached to the state beyond Gyan, and the other has not give even an inkling of Gyan. The quickest and gentlest vibrations of light are both beyond the reach of our ordinary vision. But in the one it is intense heat, and in the other it may be said to be almost without any heat. So it is with the opposite qualities of sattva and tamas. They seem in some respects to be the same, no doubt, but there is a world of difference between them. The tamogun loves very much to array itself in the garb of the sattva. Here in Arjun, the mighty warrior has come under the guise of daya, pity. In order to remove this delusion which had overtaken Arjun, what did the Bhagwan say? As I always preach that you should not decry a man by calling him a sinner, but that you should draw his attention to the omnipotent power that is in him. In the same way does the Bhagwan speak to Arjun. Netat tvai upapadhyate. It doth not befit thee. Thou art Atman, imperishable beyond all evil. Having forgotten thy real nature, thou hast, by thinking thyself a sinner, as one afflicted with bodily evils and mental grief, thou hast made thyself so. This doth not befit thee. So says the Bhagwan. Klevyam, klebyam masmagmah part. Yield not the unmanliness, O son of Pritha. There is in the world neither sin nor misery, neither disease nor grief. If there is anything in the world which can be called sin, it is this fear. Know that any work which brings out the latent power in the in punya, virtue, and that which makes the body and mind weak is verily sin. Whatever makes your mind weak is sin. The fear is sin. Shake off this weakness, this faint heartedness. Klevyam masma gamaha parth. Thou art a hero, a veer. This is unbecoming of thee. If you, my sons, can proclaim this message to the world, Klebyam masma Gamaha Parth, then all these disease, grief, sin, and sorrow will vanish from off the face of the earth in 3 days. All these ideas of weakness will be nowhere. Now it is everywhere. This current of the vibration of fear, reverse the current, bring in the opposite vibration, and behold the magic transformation. Thou art omnipotent. Go, go to the mouth of the cannon. Fear not. Hate not the major abject sinner. Look not to his exterior. Turn the gaze inward, where resides the Paramatma. Proclaim to the whole world with a trumpet voice, there is no sin in thee, there is no misery in thee, thou art the reservoir of omnipotent power. Arise, awake, and manifest the divinity within. If one reads this one shlok, Klebyam masma gamaha parth netat tvai upapadhyate Shrudram hridaya daurbalyam taikatvotishtha parantap. One gets all the merits of reading the entire Gita, for in this one shlok lies embedded the whole message of the Gita. Yield not to the unmanliness, O son of Pritha, I'll doth it befit thee, cast off this mean faint heartedness and arise, O sorcerer of thine enemies. In these and similar passages in the Gita, the Lord is showing the way to Dharma. For all of us in this world, life is a continuous fight. Many a times comes when we want to interpret our weakness and cowardice of forgiveness and renunciation. Many times comes when we want to interpret our weakness and our cowardice as forgiveness and renunciation. There is no merit in the renunciation of a beggar. If a person who can give a blow forbears, there is a merit in that. If a person who has gives up, there is a merit in that. We know how often in our lives, through laziness and cowardice, we give up the battle and try to hypnotize our minds in the belief that we are brave. We know how often in our lives, through laziness and cowardice, we give up the battle. We give up the battle due to laziness and cowardice and try to hypnotize, try to make our minds believe that we are brave. The Gita opens with this very significant verse: Arise, O Prince! Give up this faint heartedness, this weakness, stand up and fight. Then Arjun, trying to argue the matter with Krishna, brings higher moral ideas, how non resistance is better than resistance, and so on. He is trying to justify himself, but he cannot fool Krishna. Krishna is the higher self, or God. He sees through the argument at once. In this case, the motive is weakness. Arjun sees his own relatives and he cannot strike them. There is the conflict of Arjun's heart between his emotionalism and his duty. The nearer we are to beasts and birds, the more we are in the hells of emotion. We call it love. It is self hypnotization. We are under the control of our emotions like animals. A cow can sacrifice its life for its young. Every animal can. What of that? It is not the blind, bird like emotion that leads to perfection, to reach the internal consciousness, and this is the goal of man. Their emotion has no place, no sentimentalism, nor anything that beyond belongs to the senses, only the light of pure reason. There, man stands as spirit. In reading the Bhagavad Gita, many of you in Western countries may have felt astonished at the second chapter, wherein Sri Krishna calls Arjuna a hypocrite and a coward because of his refusal to fight or offer assistance on account of his adversaries, being his friends and relatives, making the play that non resistance was the highest ideal of love. There is great lesson for us all to learn that in all matters the two extremes are alike. The extreme positive and the extreme negative are always similar. When the vibrations of light are too slow, we do not see them, nor we do see them when they are too rapid. So with sound, when we hear a very low in pitch, we do not hear it. When very high, we do not hear it either. Of like nature is the difference between resistance and non-resistance. One man does not resist because he is weak, lazy, and cannot, not because he will not. And the other man knows that he can strike an irresistible blow if he likes. Yet he not only does not strike, but blesses his enemies. The one who from weakness resists not commits a sin, and as such cannot receive any benefit from the non-resistance, while the other would commit a sin by offering resistance. The one who form weakness resists not commits a sin. The one who forms weakness resists not commit a sin, as such cannot receive a benefit from the non-resistance, while the other would commit a sin by offering resistance. Buddha gave up his throne and renounced his position. That was true renunciation, but there cannot be any question of renunciation in the case of beggar who has nothing to renounce. So we must always be careful about what we really mean when we speak of this non-resistance and ideal love. We must first take care of to understand whether we have the power of resistance or not. Then, having the power, if we renounce it and do not resist, we are doing a grand act of love, but we cannot resist. And yet, at the same time, try to deceive ourselves in the belief that we are actuated by motives of the highest love. We are doing the exact opposite. Arjun became a coward at the sight of mighty array against him. His love made him forget his duty towards his country and king. This is why Sri Krishna told him that he was a hypocrite. Thou talkest like a wise man, but thy actions betray thee to be coward. Therefore stand up and fight.